Good morning, gang. Happy Monday morning. Okay, back to a work week and doing what we all do. So let's put some puzzle pieces together as to what's happened in the last 9 days. Most of it, if you take a step back and look at it, starts to become pretty obvious, and anybody with a brain can figure out what's going on pretty easily. Fortunately, half the country doesn't have one. So yesterday, of course, our illustrious president decided he's not going to run for re-election. Why is the question, okay? You could say it's health reasons. You could say doesn't have a chance of winning. Say he was pushed out by the deep state for either one of them. You could say the Democrat machine needs to stay in power. But Joe's been saying for months, or at least a month, that he's not leaving the race. And then all of a sudden yesterday, without telling his staff at all, he posts a letter up on Twitter saying he's resigning. I mean, literally his staff found out by reading his post on Twitter, okay? And I still find it very interesting that it was written on personal letterhead, not White House letterhead. That still surprises me, okay? But let's take a look at this. All right, why? Well, his brother, Frank, his younger brother, said Joe's leaving because of medical reasons. The family, of course, came out and denied that, said Joe doesn't have any medical problems at all. Yeah, okay, so they're delusional. We understand that. But, okay, let's say he's dropping out because he has no chance of winning. Okay, that's not exactly democratic because the people already said they wanted Joe to run, 14 million plus votes in the primaries, granted 20% less than Trump got, but that's neither here nor there. Disenfranchising 14 million people because you don't think you have a chance to win. Joe has said forever he's going to win. Now let's take a look at this. Let's go back on when you don't have a chance to win. Let's go back and look at the Bill Clinton Bob Dole election in 1996. Bill Clinton won that election 379 electoral votes to 159. Dole never stood a chance. Let's go to John McCain and Barack Obama. Barack Obama won 365 EVs to McCain's 173. McCain never had a chance. Let's take a look at Mitt Romney and Obama. This one was a little closer. Obama won 332 to Romney's 206. Now, realistically, unless some really strange stuff happens, like blue states start to flip to Trump, Trump's only going to win 325 EVs projected. That's not as many as either Dole, Romney, or McCain. Yet none of them dropped out. Okay. Now you could say, oh, gee, Dole, Romney, and McCain are all Republicans, and the Republicans don't do things differently or whatever. Yeah, or they don't try to fix the game. Okay, this is it. Now, it's kind of interesting because you look at, we haven't had a Democrat nominee that hasn't been fixed since 2004, okay? Obama, Clinton, they did everything they could to grease the skids for Obama, for him to run a couple of times. Then you look at Hillary, they did everything they could to force her in. Joe Biden, they let everybody else, they just pushed everybody else out, wouldn't even let him run. So the people aren't picking their candidate. I mean, look at Joe Biden. They wouldn't even let RFK in the primaries, okay? figured, oh, Marianne Williamson was nobody. Cornel West was nobody. Dean Phillips was nobody. They weren't worried about that. Okay, fine, run, you'll get 2%, who cares, okay? But RFK could have taken some serious vote tally from them. So we see what happens. Okay. So for a generation, the Democrat machine has picked their candidate, not the people. And they just assume vote blue no matter who, and the sheep will follow. And they do. Okay? This is just the way it is. So now we're going to get Kamala Harris shoved down our throats, which I still find hilarious. I mean, some of the media yesterday saying that Kamala Harris actually leads Donald Trump in polls. Show me a respectable poll that shows that, okay? No matter what happens, Kamala Harris has to run on Joe's record because she was VP, okay? But what's really going on? I don't think it's the health reasons. I don't think it's he can't win. I mean, that just shows failure for not only him, but also his entire campaign. He lost the entire base of the donor class, if you will, with his debate performance. No, I think it's a little deeper than that. Yesterday completely changed the media narrative. Okay, for a week we've been talking about 8 days. Yesterday, today's 9. The Trump assassination, the bandage on the ear, his performance at the convention. It's been Trump, 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 Trump. Today, Kimberly Cheadle, the director of the Secret Service, stands up in front of Congress because she's been subpoenaed and she's going to be questioned, as usual, behind closed doors so the people can't hear it, okay, about what happened. Now, we're going to put this into a little bit of speculation here. More and more information is coming out about this assassination attempt left and right. There was a ladder, there wasn't a ladder. Now there was a ladder again. Oh, what did we have? An ATF agent, of all people, why alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, wanting pictures of the shooter. Gee, now we're having forensic audiology done and showing that there were at least 2 shooters. You had congressmen on the Sunday morning news shows yesterday saying they are fully aware there was more than one shooter. You have grainy video showing a shooter potentially up on the water tower. You have audio and eyewitnesses saying there were people on the water tower. Okay? Again, we can go back to the logic. You cannot tell me that some 20-year-old loser outsmarted the Secret Service. I said that the other day. Somehow, some way, the fix was in. This was an assassination attempt. This kid did not work alone. I mean, when he's got... Remember when you were 20 years old, okay? Did you have foreign bank accounts? Granted, cell phones didn't exist when I was 20. Have you ever had an encrypted cell phone? Ever? Okay. What 20-year-old kid needs stuff like that? All the excuses, the sloped roof. Oh, gee, we had people inside the building, but we weren't watching the roof of the building because, snipers never go to the roof of buildings at all, ever. Somehow, some way this was planned. Whether or not Joe officially had any knowledge of it, we'll never know. But there's other people that do. And it's going to come out. This isn't 1963, where everybody's trying to look at the Zapruder film, and that was the only film. No, there's cell phones and audio and, all sorts of stuff that was taken that they can go through. Citizen journalists all of a sudden finding themselves thrown in the midst of chaos. And they came up with some evidence. Inevitably, somebody in the Biden administration authorized this and directed this, told somebody, don't worry about that building. I mean, we're hearing that the people that were protecting Trump, most of them weren't even Secret Service. They weren't even cops, okay? They were desk jockeys that they needed to put some more bodies out there, so they just told them, put a suit on and you're going to go out and pretend to be Secret Service. Okay, we get all that. No, the reason Biden dropped out is becoming more and more obvious. We all know his family, Hunter, is about as criminal as they come. Joe is about as criminal as they come. And the house of cards fell down faster than they expected. They didn't expect Hunter to be found guilty on his charges. They didn't expect the trial of his tax evasion to go before the election. They figured Joe would get his election, and then on his way out of his second term, then he could start pardoning people. It didn't turn out that way. Now with Joe losing, and Joe looking at this going, shit, if I don't win, I don't have pardon power to save my son, to cover up the assassination attempt. I mean, again, you look at what they did to Trump. They went after him on social media. Then they went after him in court. They went after him with impeachments. When none of all this worked, they tried to kill him. And that didn't work. And that was the last straw. That was when the deep state said, Joe, you've tried everything. It's time for you to go. And Joe looked at it and said, I got to cover my own ass. I need to be able to pardon my son. I need to pardon myself. I need to be able to pardon all these people who are going to turn state's evidence saying that my administration, again, maybe him, was the one who was in charge of setting up an assassination attempt. Yeah. That's why Joe is going. It ain't because of health problems. It ain't because he's leaving. It's because it's going to be the final act where he has a chance to cover up his criminal activity. Now we get into the next part. Okay, it seems to be that Kamala Harris is going to be the heir apparent. However, some of the kingmakers on the Democrat side ain't there. The Obamas didn't endorse her. Nancy Pelosi didn't endorse her. Now others have, okay? Chuck Schumer and Gavin Newsom and James Clyburn, the Clintons, they've all endorsed her. To be a puppet, of course. All right, that's all Kamala Harris. I mean, she's got less intelligence than Joe. Again, go back to what I said before. You know, the Democrat mantra, find somebody as your VP who's stupider than you are. It's your insurance policy that they don't kick you out. Okay. Kamala Harris is by far the weakest candidate ever run for president. Michael Dukakis, I don't know. Walter Mondale, these guys look like Washington and Jefferson at this point. Okay. Weak candidates. And Kamala smokes them, okay? Miss Word Salad, Miss I slept my way to the top as the vice president, laughing stock of the country. So what's going to happen? Is she going to be the nominee? Who's she going to pick for Veep? Now, there's still all sorts of speculation that Hillary Clinton's going to slide in. I said, if Hillary Clinton's made the VP, which is possible, don't get me wrong, you know how that one's going to go. Hillary's going to go, okay, fine, you're the figurehead. I'm the one calling the shots. You just do what I tell you, and that's it. Okay. Hillary Clinton ain't playing second fiddle to nobody. You think Biden's ego's bad? We all know Hillary. Trying to find somebody dumber than Kamala Harris. Okay, that's an exercise in futility. The names that are being bandied about right now: Mark Kelly, Andy Beshear, Josh Shapiro, Roy Cooper. Okay. Mark Kelly's career has hit a peak. Andy Beshear's career's hit a peak. Cooper's career's hit a peak. I could all see them. If they want to be the ride or die, and die, okay, because whoever runs with Kamala is committing political suicide. I could see it. A lot of talk about Josh Shapiro. Oh my God, they've got to bring somebody in who's going to be, pull a swing state. Pennsylvania's a big one. Josh Shapiro has a political career in front of him. Okay. He is a potential 2028 candidate. There ain't no freaking way in the world, in my opinion, he goes, yeah, I want to play second fiddle to this airhead. Gretchen Whitmer not going to do it. Gavin Newsom's not going to do it. They all look at this and go, I've got places to go. I'm not saddling myself to a losing ticket. This should be another 370 to however many idiot blue states vote for Kamala Harris landslide. We'll see. But I certainly don't think that the Trump campaign is going to rest on its laurels. I don't think any Republican, any conservative should go, oh, we've got it in the bag. We still have more than 3 months till the election. A lot of things can happen. I don't know. More attempts on Trump's life? Sure, I can see that happening too. Okay. How much chaos is Biden going to cause now that he's a lame duck? How much damage is he going to do? What's his 6-month revenge tour? Not only on the Republicans, but on the Democrats who forced him out. What's the October surprise going to be? This is the most chaotic, crazy election I've ever seen. Okay, I was 2 years old for 1968, so I can't tell you what happened there. But this is probably going to be the most insane Democrat convention since 1968, ironically in Chicago again. But we have to stick to our guns. Do not get complacent. Do not rest on our laurels. We need, those of us who want to take this country back, to do everything we can to not only keep Kamala Harris out of the White House or whichever patsy they put in as the candidate, but it now becomes even more important that we flip the Senate, we take more seats in Congress, we take more governorships, we take more seats in your state legislatures, because the Democrats are gonna go hell and fire and brimstone right now. They'll burn it down before they'll let us save the country. That's what we need to be prepared for. For them to go totally scorched earth. That they are going to try to sow as much division, cause as much problems as they can. So the new administration can't go out and make America great again, but they've got to put out all the fires that have been caused. That's what we need to watch for. That's what you need to prep for. No more does Joe need to worry about, hey, we'll bring gas prices down because it'll help me in the election. Nah, fine, let them go to $6. That's Joe's theory. I don't have to worry about food prices anymore. Screw the people. If they weren't going to vote for me, I'm not going to help them. This is Joe's mentality. This is what you need to remember. He still has 6 months to destroy this country. Don't fool yourself into thinking he loves this country. He never has. He never will. Joe loves Joe. That's it. Pinball out.